If you look at the life of Steve Jobs, it was really quite amazing. And that's because in the history of the business world here on planet Earth, this has never happened before. Never have you had a company that was the first trillion-dollar company ever to be on planet Earth, the largest net worth market cap value company on planet Earth, go 10 years of failure under one direction, literally 90 days away from bankruptcy, to iPod, iPad, iPhone, I drop the microphone and I'm gone. That's why the Ashton Kutcher movie is the most amazing movie illustrating this on planet Earth ever to be created. Because Ashton Kutcher nails this movie to the wall, the heart of this movie, of doing things your own way, not what everybody else thinks is the way to do things. And this is hard, because it takes a lot of heart to go, listen guys, we really appreciate your input. However, we're going to do it like this, because we know the right way to do things. And a lot of people have opinions and speculation on what that's about. And none of that's true. The fact of the matter is, there is one direction the company needs to go at any given time, of which Ashton Kutcher captured perfectly in the scene where he showed that which matters in this world, and that is moving hearts. And moving hearts in this world creates trillion-dollar companies. Everything else creates what you could call mediocre money, 10 years of failure money, 10 years of 90 days away from bankruptcy money, which can sometimes look like a little money, but it is ultimately mediocre money at best. Now, how do you make real, heartfelt money in this world? Well, you look to help humans as Steve Jobs was, first of all. The very best you can. And you're not focused on money in any way, shape, or form, but just to help humans the very best you can. Period. And then all of a sudden money just automatically comes. You find out, yes, you use money in the process, but when you're not focused on money and you're focused on moving hearts, as he captured there, when your focus is this, you can do no wrong. In the business world, as he illustrated, you can do no wrong. However, as illustrated by the 10 years of other contrast, when you're focused on clawing your way into operating system 7 in the software market and doing things that are inappropriate, such as putting software that wasn't designed to run on hardware into that market, of which is not appropriate to do for humans because it has no heart in it. It doesn't help humans. It actually takes a nosedive in quality and productivity, because obviously any tool that is hardware that has software specifically designed for that hardware and not a third-party operating system with 1,500 parts from 1,500 other vendors is going to be superior in security, which is why Apple reigns supreme even if you've had a 5 to 6% drop since the death of the founder of the company. The fact of the matter is, you cannot fight that ratio. It's literally impossible. The same people under the same roof made the software for the specific proprietary hardware. It's impossible for it to be weaker. It's physically impossible. Now, if you take 1,500 other companies in the world and then take another third-party operating system, well, you've got 1,500 chances for a blue screen of death, which we've seen for 25 years. It's been more perfected over time, of course, But this is the reason you see that, because the video card, the sound card, the motherboard, the processor, it's not all made to be one solidified functioning component, which at any time is superior to something that hasn't been created to be one solidified functioning component. Obviously, that makes common sense and can be no other way. There's been a lot of talk about proprietary not always being best because of yada yada and XYZ over the last 25 years, but ultimately, at the end of the day, that is untrue. And it's true in the PC world, because if you introduce something proprietary in a world that's already not based on proprietary, it creates waves of stuff happening. Destruction, construction, who knows what's happening there. It's even more further hodgepodge. Your arm and your legs are digital, but we put your hand over here that's analog, and you have just really thrown some puzzle pieces into the pie. Nobody wants to do that. They want one solidified union of components under their roof. And that way everything runs as though I cracked the screen 3 times massively, threw it into a drain pipe, let it rain on it for 3 days, pulled it out, and it still came on its own before I could get home. Hardcore. Versus I was wondering if I would like the iPhone or not. Wondering if I would have an opinion. And there's no opinion. It's literally a solidified, more powerful product, and that's just the bottom line. It's the opinions aren't real, otherwise we would call them facts. If you do testing and this piece destroys upon impact on your testing, well, then it's either weaker or it's superior. And through rigorous testing, Apple products are superior. It's just how it is. It's not an opinion. We've done the testing on the products. We know they're superior. And they're going to continue to be superior when we introduce products in our next iteration that power themselves. Essentially, it is with magnifying piezoelectricity in this world, and we'll talk about that more later. It's going to be the next octave for the iPhone X, which is the only thing we're going to call the iPhone from now on, because we do things in Steve Jobs sort of fashion, how we want, not how we discussed in a meeting with everyone else on the board that we fired after coming back because they were clearly unnecessary. That makes us assholes. Label us as you please. That is your right. But okay. The fact of the matter still is, we're only going to have one phone, and it's going to be called the iPhone X, because the Big X is never going to be Pyramid 2.0. You see those pyramid cuts in that Big X, and you're not going to make a bigger, better X than X ever. I know a lot of people think that, and so they're like, we can really make this X better than it is now, and we can do X 2.0, and that is extremely unrealistic and never going to happen. There are absolutes in this world, and improving on X is never going to happen. You draw that X right there, and you look at it, and you're like, that looks cool. I love it. Yeah. And so it looks really great. And it's not going to look better tomorrow than it did today. And maybe the sun hits it a little different, and that's all well and good. But at the end of the day, it's two intersecting lines. And we want to keep it just like that same golden mean pyramid ratio. You could put several pyramids right into that, and we're never changing the dimensions on the pyramid because they literally resonate at the golden mean ratio of 1.6180339, and this is not an opinion, it's a fact. And we want to keep things real factual around here at all times, and we don't care about new names, we don't care about gimmicks. We don't care about impressing you with new, cool sounding nonsense. We only care about having the very simplest name possible for the simplest, most powerful phone this world has ever will see. Even if the founder dies and it drops 6% in security stability, it's still 93% more stability than anything you will find on any other market on planet Earth, period. Heard some of you complaining about the quality of your iPhones going down, and without that rigorous demand for perfection in the house anymore from its creators, that can definitely be cause for concern. And it might have dropped a percentage or two. We're not saying that's not the case. People die. These sort of things are natural and they happen. It doesn't mean we're giving up. It doesn't mean 93 to 96% is still not there. Of course it is. We invented the tank and left it to the company when we died. And that's how it is. The tank is still there in all of its glory, being made today. And we see the tank, and we're going to continue improving on the tank. We want it Panzer tank-like. Panzer tank-like. Panzer. Not the shitty glass that other people use on their products, but the glass we use specially made from Corning. Special. Everything we do, every attention to detail, every time you open the box, it is an experience you go through. When you open boxes from other stuff, is what we'll call that, you do not have that Apple experience. Anybody in the world opening anything ever in their life, unless their grandmother sewed it and made it by hand. So the next iPhone 10, which is what we're going to be calling it, and we don't care what your other phones were called and how they may or may not look similar. That's great. What we do care about is that the iPhone 10 is going to power itself now, and obviously you'll know the difference because one will have a port for charging and one won't. And so the iPhone 10 will power itself and never need charging of any kind ever, because we are going to create them to where they power themselves. And that's a wonderful step in the right direction. We'll talk more about that later. Thank you.